that we look for strength and assistance. Without debate, without criticism, no administration and no country can succeed, and no republic can survive.
All right, welcome to the Patriot Hour for 5/25/2020. It's Memorial Day, Monday. It's that last Monday in May that we all know so well. Got a little something here I want to read to you guys before we get into the Patriot panel. We have JT Wild with us. We have Ben. We have Woodman. We have Greg, Patriot, Fluid Pour, Legacy Truths. They're chatting away right now in the room. So it's a great day to be with you. We always encourage you to think for yourself. Never take what we say to be 100% word, fact, truth. Listen to everybody you can. Read everything you can. Look at all that truth, all the D-class. We can lead a horse to water, but you can't force it to drink it. So we really try here to bring you in our journey of like 3 years together going on. It's been great. But we do want to take a minute here for all of the fallen. So again, I want to say thank you for being here today. I'm deeply honored, I'm sure as well as the rest of the panel, to stand with you, Patriots, commemorating the sacrifices of those military men and women who have laid down their lives in service for this nation. I would like to take a moment and acknowledge any of those who have lost a loved one in the line of duty for this country. Doesn't matter how much time has passed, no words of condolence can even begin to adequately console a survivor's grief. And while grief from loss may change throughout the years, it never leaves us. So on every last Monday in May, we find ourselves reflecting on those men and women who so bravely risked life and limb in the face of grave danger. We remember those who left the comforts of home to fight for us and our freedom, but never returned to one day trade the title of soldier, sailor, airman, Coast Guard, Guardsman, Marine, but simply just veteran. All right, so we're all veterans. We mourned our brothers and sisters in the arms the day they left us, and we mourn them still today. So the men and women who have given their lives as sacrifice to this nation are indisputably heroes and sheroes of this nation. When their countries called upon them, they answered. Some volunteered and some were voluntarily told. But no matter how they found their way into the ranks of the military, each took it upon themselves or herself to serve faithfully and to their fullest. This is very commendable in our nation. We're so few among our own citizens have donned the uniform and accepted to inherit that risk. And this alone makes them heroes and sheroes worthy of remembrance. For some of our veterans, we were unable to pay our final respects at a final resting place. There are still more than 82,000 military personnel missing in action, and from every single conflict that we've had since World War II, and we will never forget them, and we will never stop looking to bring them home. With that, we're going to introduce the panel, the fellas here, and again, it's my honor to have everyone on, from JT to the normal Oath of Four, our regular guys. Fellas.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Airborne.
Normally we would be down at the Legion right now, wouldn't we, Woodman?
Yep. Sure would. See, right now, no, we'd probably be going down to the bridge right now.
Yes,
and
that's
after
what I
that,
meant.
we'd go back to the Legion. Yeah.
I didn't particularly mean Legion itself, just the event surrounding it.
Right.
The whole ceremony.
Yeah, I guess I should have said we'd be part of a ceremony right now. So last year, I was home and Ben was down and beaming in. So we actually brought the event last year as one of our first little, beam in type things, which was really cool. So
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, let's start. Woodman, give yourself, we got about 300 I see in the room, so why don't you go ahead and give a quick introduction of yourself, who you are, why you are here, and if you want to, got a little something to say for Memorial Day, feel free.
First of all, I have to do this every Memorial Day to my brother Mac. He is no longer here. We were a heavy team, very, very close when you get to be like that. I pray for all the families out there who have lost their family members for one reason or another. Honor the veterans today. Make sure you give them a hug. Let them know you care, that you love them. Back when I was in, if you traveled, of course, this is back during Nam, you go to an airport and everybody spit on you. They'd call you a baby killer and you're an animal, But I'm the only one left of the original. We had small teams, and I'm the only one left in the original team. We had team members replace them, of course, but that's not the same. Yeah, 82nd Airborne Division. I did DTOC and Blue Room Guard and other various duties in the field. And I don't regret one day of it, not one day. You learn how to be very, very punctual, very, very accurate, because there is no, well, let me come in here and do this tomorrow, or I'll give you a call later. Does not happen. It's immediate. Bang, 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 bang. Then you just go on in life and kind of help bring it along with you, to keep it going on. I hate to say it, but veterans, in my opinion, are super strong people. I'm not talking about physically. We all go through tremendous training, and like mine was vigorous. You can imagine, airborne and recon and jungle and all that stuff. But enough of that. Let's get on to somebody else. By golly, enjoy your cookouts, everybody. And you guys should have came and helped me plant yesterday. I just
We love you,
more to
Woodman.
go.
I was really busy partying, Woodman. I'm sorry.
I was doing American stuff.
Yeah.
I was busy enjoying my day. No, sorry, I'm just joking.
Yeah.
JT Wild is in this, beaming into the studio. Brother, take a minute, tell everyone about yourself and why you were here. Not so much why you were here on this panel today, but just in general on YouTube, and what's your, concerns and hobbies and passions.
Well, I am the only person on the panel that's not a veteran. So I'm honored, first of all, to be here with you guys, that you would invite me on this amazing day. I get a little emotional when I think about Memorial Day because, Grandpa, hold on.
Don't you worry.
Yeah, my grandpa and my Uncle
All right.
Frank, they're two of the greatest men I've ever known. And they had a lot to do with World War II, and, lied about their age to get in there just to see the world, and they were adventurers. Uncle Frank was on the Indianapolis. He floated for, I think, 3 or 4 days before they picked him up. My grandpa hid in a cave in Okinawa, but he stayed alive, And sorry, man, it's just so many stories like that through the world, and that was the last war that really had the right cause, man. There's been so many that we now know once we're awake that just didn't need to happen, and there's so many people that lost their parents and their grandparents because of needless and endless wars. And I think that's why we're all here today. I know you guys had to do that and you know how you don't want that for the future. And if we really get this deep state gone, like our president says, we can make a difference in the future of every single American, and we can have a military that is protecting us 24/7, and they can believe in the cause that they're behind. And that's the one thing that I want all the veterans out there to know, is that no matter what the wars and how they were caused, you matter, and you matter to us, because you never questioned, and you stood strong in the face of tyranny and in the face of evil. And I could not be who I am today without you guys, man. And thank you.
Oh, you're blessed,
Brother,
brother.
thank
You're
you.
blessed, man. We love to have you here as well,
Yeah.
man. This is good stuff, man. This is
And
what
I-
it's about. Where
And
it's
I guess
truth.
we talked a lot before we went off. I didn't know about you just brought up the Indianapolis, your grandfather. I actually had a little bit more on my intro, and I think I just kind of cut myself short with a little bit more I had, because I just felt like I was taking too long. I wanted to get to you guys, but I'll read this a little bit more. This past August, the ill-fated USS Indianapolis was finally discovered. This is a couple years ago, this little clip I have here. For those of you that don't know, so more than 70 years after being torpedoed by Japanese submarine on July 30th of 1945, the ship sank in just 12 minutes. Of 1,195 crew on board, approximately 300 went down with the cruiser. The remaining sailors and Marines faced exposure, dehydration, saltwater poisoning, delirium, shark attacks while floating in the Philippine Sea with very few lifeboats, preservers, and food or water. So the Navy didn't even learn of the sinking until survivors were spotted 4 days later by a flight crew on just routine patrol. And as a result, there were only 316 surviving Marines and sailors. So, wow, brother.
Frank Nelson was one of them.
Man,
Man,
what
that's
a
amazing.
story.
You see-
Yeah.
That's a hero's journey if I have ever heard one. I mean, he survived what he survived and went through, and I mean, look at the legacy that he created on. That should be the standard of every American. I mean, well, I'll take this chance. Ben, prior Army, I served at Operation OIF, OEF. I was in the medical field, and met Mike in 2007, 2008, and most of you guys know who I am from there, and and almost like JT and the other individuals in this panel, we all have somebody who has touched our lives personally, family members who have passed on, who've been either served. My grandfather, he was a veteran of World War II and that kind of stuff, and he died of natural causes, but you hear the stories he used to tell us as kids. It's just amazing, the type of I hear this echoing through Americans of how robust and how independent we always used to be, and now we're closing things down because of the sniffles. I mean, I'm in stores and I'm seeing veterans that they've got Vietnam, like Woodman hats and stuff, like Iraq and stuff, and we're heading strong. It's like, for a lot of cats who went what they went through, have that understanding that these streets that I drive on and walk on, they're not paved with please and thank yous. A lot of them are paved with the lives of soldiers who were not drafted, who actually took up the call that said, I want to make a difference, not only locally, because we hear about these guys from World War II and this era, and even the cats from Vietnam. They went through hell and back, you guys, and they came back and they became local mayors or business owners, and they really changed where they were at, and they bloomed where they were planted at, and it's like, to have that now, it needs to come back, and you have to remember what was sacrificed so we can have the ability and freedoms to even recognize what tyrants today are taking away, because they have no connection. They don't understand what it's like to lose a family member and into something that you don't believe in, but because they were following orders. Like we always say here, it's like, it isn't the soldiers or the boots on the ground because we're soldiers. We understand that it's just a common man fighting for the better cause. It's the people who control them that we're really trying to hold accountable for what they've been doing. And I agree with JT. There's been a lot of senseless young men and women going to their deaths senselessly when it could have been done many other ways. And that's what I'm hoping is going to be coming up here in the future. And that's what we all here in the panel today hope for, and that in remembrance.
I agree,
Yes.
brother. Greg, what's up, brother?
Good morning, guys. I just wanted to be here with y'all to remember what today was about. And I had lost 6 crewmen on the Enterprise and on the Roosevelt, and they are sadly missed. You can see the videos on my channel of the plane crash and stuff. So it's kind of hard. It's an emotional time. To Mac Woodman, salute, and to JT, your grandpa and Uncle Frank, I salute them as well. And I just want everybody to know today is about remembering the lost. It's not about those who are still here. It's not about, the ones on active duty. Yeah, we appreciate them. That's what Veterans Day is. Today is about the lost, the ones that never came home. My grandfather, World War II vet, Doc is what they called him. He was a hospitalman for the wounded here stateside. He never made it to theater, thank God. But he saw theater come to him. And, this is a hard day remembering him. He died in 1995. And I hope to God that he looks down and he's proud of what we did. I'm a third generation veteran. Had my grandpa, my dad, and then me. We were all Army and Navy. So with that, I hand it back. You guys know who I am. You know why I'm here. And I love my country. I love my Constitution.
All right. I'll do a quick one. You guys know me as well. Michael, Navy, took part in a few events such as 9/11 on the USS George Washington. Nicole was part of our battle group where we lost 17 sailors that day, 39 wounded. Let's never forget, if you're having these barbecues today and celebration with family, friends, neighbors, coworkers, whatever, you should. That's what it's about. You're getting together to celebrate because of some of these people that have sacrificed and are no longer there. Hey, maybe set a little plate aside for that family member that'll never return home, or that, this is kind of like what we have at the Legions and certain military establishments, the POW table. It's very symbolic, we can get into the dynamics of everything on the table and what it means, the lemon for the bitterness in their mouth from war, and the salt for their wounds. And it's very symbolic, but maybe just set a plate aside, say a little prayer, and let's remember all of our past, all right? So we can learn from it and move forward. All right, fellas. How's everyone's weekend going? I just want to kind of hit on. I know 2 of our people are out in Florida, probably you guys are kind of reopened. What have you guys seen as far as the tourist or just beaches and are your guys' restaurant and bars back to, full
Yeah.
operation?
We're not back to full yet. We're not back to totally full open, but there are some restaurants that are seating inside, 6 feet apart, every other table. But the beaches are wide open. They try to get you to maintain the social distancing, but it's just crap when you're out there in the water splash, and who the hell cares? I know I lost an $80 pair of Oakleys the other day to a monster 7-foot wave that smashed me in the back and knocked me off my feet. It was great. The lifeguard was dying laughing. It was awesome. But I don't know about you, JT. What do you see on your end?
I'm texting Joe Flynn right now the link to the show, so I'm hoping he jumps on, because this is a really perfect show for vets and people with loved ones in the military to watch. And I guess what's on my mind is really my contribution to the movement, and it started with vets. I volunteered. I got lucky enough to just be in the right place to speak to a lady that was an entertainment coordinator at the VA, and I got to go and play music for about 2 years. For the wound, it was the trauma unit,
Okay.
the burns and head injury unit, and so I got to sit with 10 to 20 wounded vets, some that were paraplegic, a young lady with half of her brain missing, one guy 93% of his body completely burned, and I guess humility hits you like a brick. And man, and emotions, the emotions are like so intense in that room, and you're singing songs, and every word means something. You could be singing the Joker, and it means something. And there's so many magical moments that I had in there, and it was crossing that threshold of the fear of being one with someone's sadness and their trauma that I think really I needed to have to be a true artist. And one day this kid, he comes wheelchaired in, and his head's like this, and he just came out of a coma, and they wheel him in, and I start playing music, and slowly one eye pops open and looks up, and he puts his head back down, and then slowly two eyes pop up, and he put his head back down, and then as the songs kept going, his eyes opened up, and he smiled this huge smile, and he woke up. He woke up that moment. He didn't wake up when he officially woke up. He told me later that he woke up that moment. And he said he came out of a dream with the Lord and everybody. And there I was in front of him playing music, And I watched him go through joy, sadness, to the extreme that you could not imagine. It was like watching a child as an adult being born again. And we're friends to this day. He is a crazy, crazy kid. And but he changed my life, and I changed his. And I guess what I'm getting to is that there's something you can do. If you know any musicians in your city that would be willing to do this, make the effort, find out who the entertainment coordinator is at those facilities, and say, hey, and make those connections. If you don't play music at all, if you don't do anything at all that have to do with that stuff, but you know how to talk to people and put them together, do it, because the healing is immeasurable with music, and it's unbelievable. I can tell you a few more stories, but I'd cry too much. and I need to I've always wanted to start a nonprofit that basically just made commercials that got musicians to go to the VA and volunteer.
Oh, wow. That's
simple.
awesome. That's a heart of gold there, brother. That is I didn't know that about you.
Very
That's
commendable.
something that you did. Yeah. No, thank you so much. That's in the
work
VA,
you do.
even with us, I know throughout
Thanks,
the
Craig.
years, some going to appointments and whatnot, they always recommend us to have hobbies and stuff. And I know, fluid pour paints. I know Ben does a lot of music, and these are probably some things that we've done before we were veterans, but maybe horned in on even more so after the fact, or not, but or something to get back to. But you should have hobbies, and like you said, for this one, the traumatic brain injuries, or that floor over the VA where it's that is just awesome of you, brother. That is service right there. I mean, you're the government's good at making veterans, but not so good at taking care of them. That's something I always like to say.
That's right. And
right
that's
there.
the thing is they're not going to invest in music therapy, and but that's, you know what, good. That's because it's our job. It leaves
Right,
us
right.
free of the bureaucracy to do it.
Yeah.
So we just need to step up to the plate and do that stuff. I got to tell you, one of the greatest blessings that came out of it was one day they called me up and they said, "Hey, you got to get down here right now." And I said, "What's going on?" "Charlie Daniels is coming at noon, and you have to be here when he's here." So Charlie would come every year, and I didn't even know. And they were like, "You got to get down here." So I got to sit next to Charlie, play music with him, and then he invited me to his
beautiful,
show.
man.
He
That's
invited me on
amazing.
stage. I got to sing "Devil Went Down to Georgia" in the background. "Fire on the mountain, run, boy, run." I was jumping I was jumping in the air 10 feet.
He is my
But
favorite country singer, Charlie Daniels.
he's amazing. And
Yeah.
I've been trying. He doesn't know me as JT Wild. He knows me as my real name. So I've been trying to get him on Twitter to remember me. But I mean, I've met him so many times, and he just has been he's such a sweet man, and so dedicated to this. And I think, you know, I had no idea. I had no idea until Q came along that I would be this much of a patriot. I did those things, and they were I guess at the time about my own spiritual growth in my thought, my where my consciousness was. And now I've moved into this movement where I see why, and I really believe that we need a spiritual awakening within the Patriot awakening. And
that's crazy. It is crazy.
Yes.
I mean, you
And-
think
and
about
we-
what
and-
you were saying. Go ahead.
no, please go.
Well, I was
Hear
saying,
what you
that's something. Well, even with the music, and you're saying with this whole new thing with Q and having us research and going new things. That's the beauty of it. Is it doesn't care who you are, or what's going on. It's like for a lot of people. I mean, with Mike and I, and with meeting you and Greg and even Woodman, we've always had these things in the back of our mind. But like now, recently, we're starting to get validation. A lot of these things we thought were crazy now coming to fruition, and we're seeing things that we've never seen before ever in at least our lifetimes. I mean, I'm 42 years old. I mean, I've been on this earth for a little while now. I mean, Woodman and some of you guys a little bit longer, and it's like, and you understand the same thing, that things are changing so quickly. And so, we always say this all the time. What can you do? Well, Mike started a channel. I mean, look what JT's doing. He's going out there, and that's where the heroes and come into play with the patriots. And that's, you want to know what patriotism is? Right there. If you got a gift, don't hog it, share it. And who do you want to
That's
share
right.
it to?
Yeah.
Those who, yeah. That's where it's
God.
a gift. Is it blind? It doesn't care what color, creed, whatever you are, man. It's like it speaks to you. And so that's why I can't wait, man. This Patriots Fest, brother. We're going to be doing some
Oh,
good
yeah.
jamming. I can't wait to have you guys out there, because it's going to be an awesome time, man. It is, because it's
So
Lots
I'm
of
just
music
gonna,
knows no
I-
bounds.
I'm gonna talk to my buddy. We were waiting for everything to open back up, and my buddy's that owns a really big, one of the biggest bars in the area. It's actually an old state theater, the Elkhart one. But I'm gonna try to see. So Friday night we got you lined up. You're gonna, you talked about doing, I don't know, an hour or 2 hours worth of a set or whatever. I can't remember, but whatever works, whatever a set is for you. And that's like Friday. I think we're gonna kick off at 7:30 because the drawing's at 7. We'll give that a little time. That goes from 7 to 7:10, right? 7:15 Woodman. So we figured back out at the pavilion outside, in our outside pavilion, 7:30 to like 9 or 8, 9:30, whatever you're good with, And then we're thinking Saturday is the whole event, and then it pretty much tapers off at the Legion around 6 or 7 or 8 o'clock, Woodman, right? Pretty much shut down, done. And that's our second night of camping and all that. But we could, and I'm trying to arrange it, get us all to go about 10, 15 minutes up the road to my one buddy's local thing where he might have something already booked for later that night, but maybe you can get up there on
little VIP.
You get up on the stage there. There's actually a huge stage, and we can maybe have
I
as
know
many
enough
people.
three-chord.
Yeah.
I know
So we can jam it, brother. I got 3, 4.
Yeah.
You're good to go.
And that could be a topper for the event.
Attitude.
And I might try to get a bus, a big bus that pulls up, picks you, me, all of us up from the Legion and just takes us there, drops us all off, comes back 2 hours later. Nothing late, nothing long, but just something. We'll see. If you're cool with that.
Wagon train.
I'm sure you're going to be cool if you can stay just a little while longer and be picking on that flat top a bit.
I wanted to open up the phone.
I might have one of you guys get me an acoustic guitar so I don't have to put mine on the plane. I always worry about that, but if you got one,
what do you need?
I could borrow. Well, whatever, just as long as it's a good one. You guys know what the difference is, right?
Yeah, Ben does. I'm sure my buddy
get us a nice Martin guitar.
You don't got like a hard shell case. I mean, you can't put it on. They won't let you take it on.
No, I'll bring it. I just
bring if you can, brother. Because I mean, shoot, we're still trying to get the PA going, get that stuff going. We're trying to get a good show.
Okay,
so if you can bring it on,
I'll bring it.
Here we go.
To airline.
We got a phone call.
But...
Give me a minute here.
Ooh, all right.
Patriot Hour. You got us all on. What's going on?
Hey, brothers. Happy Memorial Day.
Sean from New Jersey.
What's going on? What's up, brother? How you doing?
I would like to say for everyone out there to remember that the ultimate price was paid so that we could keep this great experiment going.
Amen.
Our brothers and sisters sacrificed all so that we could carry on. So on this day, may we raise an adult beverage in their honor and in their memory.
I got my coffee right here.
It's an adult beverage. Brown bean juice, baby.
I don't let my kids drink coffee.
Just don't
brother.
do Maxwell House.
No, we truly.
I have a question. This has been burning me up ever since this Biden call came out. You know where he told Poroshenko, well, if you don't believe me, call Obama.
Yep.
You know, did he? Doesn't it beg an investigation into White House communications? Did Poroshenko call Obama for verification of what Biden said?
Well,
I don't hear anyone talking about that.
Well, didn't they tell him when Biden was bragging up on stage in 2016 or whatever, after the fact he wasn't president, that he said, the guy's like, you can't do that. Obama already promised the money. He's like, no, I'm in charge. You could call Obama and ask him. You know, he put me in charge.
And it took Poroshenko a few hours to call Biden back.
That's right.
In that time, did he call President Obama?
That's a great point.
Release the call.
He said, I have 6 hours.
I don't hear anyone. That's a question I hear no one asking. No one's
That's
asking
true.
that question.
Nobody
Why?
is asking that.
It's a good question.
Well, you did, Patriot.
You heard it here first.
Hello.
Right
That's
there.
right.
First. That's right.
You heard it right from Sean from Communist New Jersey's mouth.
Oh,
Jersey
come on
boy.
now, brother.
You've been crazy.
Brother.
To be
That's
Sean
awesome,
from
Mero.
Freedom Land, Mississippi.
That's right. From free. How I have to ask, since we know you so well, how's the wife and baby coming along?
Babies. She's
That's
doing
right.
great.
Babies.
It's going a little rough because of the twins, you know. She has her good days and bad days, but everything's going great. She's super stoked that the job came through and I don't have to wait for our governor to reopen the state for me to get rolling on my career, you know.
Yeah.
Praise God, dude. Praise God on that. But oh my gosh, that's huge blessings,
Sisters,
brother.
God
Huge.
is good. God is great each and every second of the day. There are miracles everywhere. The question is, are your eyes and heart open enough to see them?
Yeah. No, that's
Hey, it's Memorial
perfect.
Day. I feel like being deep today.
Brother,
Yeah.
we appreciate it. Well, we'll get to a few calls because we're just going to take a few. You're one of the lucky few. You know how to
Okay.
call
If
us
I
back,
may,
of course.
If I may, my parting wisdoms,
Yep.
brothers and sisters, on this day, as well as all, we must pray for each other. We must pray for those who are not yet awake so that they may be elevated to see the truth. Pray for each other, stand together, stay strong, keep the faith, and remember, brothers and sisters, where we go one, we go all. God bless
Amen.
you, one and all.
God
No,
bless.
Amen.
Love you.
Lord,
Holding
love.
it down. Holding
God
it
bless
down.
you, brother.
know,
We'll talk to you
Tommy,
soon.
New Jersey, loving it, loving it. God
Stay
bless
strong,
you and your
brothers. God
family.
bless.
God bless. It's always a great time when Sean from Communist Jersey calls in. I don't know how many we'll get from him in Communist Jersey, but soon he'll be in, what do we call it, Freedom Ring, Mississippi or Missouri.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we're still open. If you guys want to make another call, we got a little bit of time for a few more.
This is amazing, by the way. Thank you,
Here.
guys. Look at this. We've got a panel of 5 phone calls. Like this is we're getting fresh breaking news. Questions asked that
This
hasn't
is a
been
Patriot Hour.
answered
You're
yet.
on. What's going on?
Yes.
Hi, Mike. It's Natalie from Kentucky. Happy Memorial Day, you guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey,
Thank you
what's
all
up,
for your
Natalie?
service.
What's up?
Appreciate it. And
Thank you.
just wanted to call and say thank y'all for what you do every day.
Thank-
And I haven't had internet in a few days, so I haven't been up on everything, but
We're glad
I'll have
you're
it again Friday.
we're glad
All
you're,
right.
you're keeping up and gonna be getting back to your normal schedule with internet. What how's everything down in Texas going? Is it reopened at all? Is
I'm
it
in Kentucky.
I mean Kentucky. How's everything in Kentucky?
Well, some things are opening back up, but not fast enough. We still need some haircut places open.
Well, the same going on up here. Haircuts are opening, but there are lines out the door. Then they got the restrictions, I think, in
Real
some.
sparse.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Yeah, me and my son went to Evansville the other day. We picked up a bed for my daughter, and I seen the one haircut place had the open sign on, so we may run over there and get it done.
There you go. Get a
Yeah.
quick little butch job, this job.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. He's starting to look like Woodman.
Like his head or his
Love it.
face?
Only the truth.
Like right here? You're talking about like right here?
We're all over here.
I have
Business
here
on top,
more.
kind of wild man in the front.
Well,
Body
comb over.
right down here.
don't even turn into Woodman.
Oh God.
Don't
we
go
love
full
you.
Woodman.
Oh, this
Never
is-
go full Woodman. All right.
Don't touch it.
Got him bouncing in his chair.
Well, God bless
All
you.
right, guys.
God bless
God
you.
bless y'all.
Oh.
Thank you so much.
For what y'all do.
Love you,
And,
yes.
I'll have internet again Friday.
All right. We'll see you soon. Thank you.
Awesome. This is what it's about. Even the Patriots know that it's nothing but love, and this is all coming from the heart. This is the kind of
You're on.
community I want to be a part of. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, what's going
What
on?
up? How we doing? Welcome to Patriot Hour.
Behind enemy lines in Washington.
Washington.
Oh.
He's behind enemy lines in
Kazaka
Washington.
Washington?
Oh,
Isn't that Kazaka Washington?
I love that.
Washington.
Did you get my patch?
What's that?
Did
You get his
a
patch.
in the mail?
Yeah, I think I believe. Did you just send that last week or a week or so ago?
A week or so ago.
Yes,
Yeah.
I got it, and it, I meant to show it. I got a packet full of mail to show. So maybe if you watch later this evening, I will do a special show of showing that patch and a couple of more envelopes and letters that I got. But what was the patch of? If you could tell me, was it a Vietnam? No, what was it?
It's Cold War
Yes,
Warriors.
yes, Cold
Yeah.
War Warriors.
The story behind that patch is it's made by a Vietnam vet. He's got medical issues now, so he can't work. So he makes patches for people.
Oh.
And I bought a whole bunch of those patches for a fundraiser a couple of years ago, and I still had a few left. So.
Oh, nice.
All right. Well, when I could definitely show that, maybe we get a few more sold for that guy.
But today we're told we can't go up. The Legion says we can't go up and do honors today.
Right.
So a handful of us are going to go up and do honors anyway, despite the Legion.
Good
The
for
Legion
you.
says we can't use their equipment because we're not supposed to be up there. And we've been threatened with getting trespassed if we go up. But you know what? These men and women, they gave the ultimate. So what's a trespass compared to what they got?
That's right.
It's honor.
Come
on
for
now.
sure.
1 year at our Legion, they weren't going to do it because it was raining, and I stood up. I didn't threaten anyone. I just made the comment that these people died in the rain, probably, or the cold, or the
They
hot.
fighting
and
for
they
our
didn't
freedom
care.
while it was raining.
Yeah.
So then everyone was like, "You're right. Let's go stand in the rain for a few minutes and do
The
this."
army,
Like it didn't.
the army had a saying: if
Yeah.
it wasn't raining, we
I
wasn't
appreciate
training.
all you guys.
Where were you at? What state was that going on in that you can't do this? So just not your like
Washington.
exact. Oh yeah, Washington. That's right. Okay.
Kazaka Washistan.
Oh man. All right. So thank you so much for that tidbit, and
God
thanks.
bless you, Patriot.
Thank you.
You're doing everything you've done.
Thank you.
Really.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
God bless you and your family, man.
Awesome,
This is
man.
yeah.
We'll take one more because I want to. Then we got our last 10 minutes. So one more call. One more call.
This is
The
amazing.
word is
I
rolling
love
in.
I love. This is so much positive feedback. We've even sometimes like we don't care. Call in if you got some complaints. Hey, air that dirty laundry. We're cool. We'll ask your questions. But you know what? Everybody's never always shown nothing but love. Because it's almost like music, like JT said, man. Truth has a certain ring, a certain tone to it that always busts through the lies and whatever the ganda, the propaganda, you know.
The Ganda of prop.
The ganda of prop, good sir.
Yes,
202
truth is one of the
506.
highest vibrations within love, you know. You got love,
9005.
acceptance, honor, all of those things, you know. You can't find, you know, honor. Where do you find that in an average everyday life? Where do you find honor? You
Can't buy it.
That's why you. That's the difference between vets and normal people. You
We were
know
set apart,
what
brother.
honor is. You know what honor is. Honor is one of the highest vibrations. It's the camaraderie. It's the loyalty between each other. You can't replace it. That's why a lot of vets are hurting, because you can't replace
Amen.
that feeling. And so this is another part of our movement, right? You guys, if you were out there alone without the four of you together, life wouldn't be as good. And you're able to bring your vibrations and
Amen
rock
to
it.
that,
And
dude. I've been able to lean
It's
on like you saying, like JT, leaning on Woodman, Mike, Greg, man. It is a community. That's why I can't wait, man. Coming up and meeting you guys and all the other people listening and bringing all these people together. It's going to be I have a good assumption. I'm going to bring some lifelong friends away from when we meet in person.
Yes,
brother,
sir.
for sure.
Yeah.
Amen.
And then that
no.
leadership acronym we had in the Army, you know, loyalty,
Yeah.
duty, respect, honor, selfless service, integrity, and personal courage. That really means something to us, guys. It's not just words that are said. It's not just sentences that are completed. It's an actual heartfelt, deep meaning. And just like the oath, when you raise your hand and you swore it, it doesn't go away. It can't. It's embedded.
It's for life.
You're set apart by God to do his mission here. And that's what we're
You
doing.
know it.
Honor, courage, and commitment. That was the Navy, and I've taken those and used them for the rest of my life. So it's, yeah,
Values.
It is.
you guys are
Core
on
values.
the other side of a line that the average person doesn't get to see. And
deep, man.
I commend you for it, and I appreciate it. And, man, thank you. Thank
That's why
you so much.
You'll never see us kneel for no anthem, because we stand for it to honor the ones who died for it.
Yeah. There you
Remember
go.
that.
Amen.
Well, it's like the unit I was in, that AA, that stands for All American. That means, it's like a mix. That's exactly how it started.
yeah.
It's a melting pot. That's
they,
right.
they were all volunteers. They were already in the military, and they volunteered. They
Again.
used to jump out of a basket. They would get up in a basket, an air balloon, and they'd jump out of the basket. Whoa!
Those
Those guys
Sand
had
Hills,
some
they used to
kahunas,
call
man.
that there. Fort Benning.
Well, I've, like you said, I spent a lot of time in the service. Myself, I re-enlisted twice. But when I got out, I had got into a government contracting, actually building the Humvees, and there was a lot of military there. So again, I quickly found other branches of military guys. I mean, I was surrounded by them. This plant actually had 2,000 employees, but about 800 of us were veterans. So it was too easy to find the 800 and the lingo between us, and we're working on military Humvees and all the equipment. It was just familiar to you, the color, the paint color, all the equipment, and then some of the people. And the lingo that I had in service worked with these veterans as well because they were like-minded. So, and then like I get into school in 07 while I'm working there, and I meet Ben, veteran. Again, another, it's just the magnet of it. But not that I don't, so you look into serving as some people, that's patriotic, that's the only thing. No, we know by history books I have that statesmanship where you do things, there's lots of ways to be, to serve your country. And just like JT being part of this movement, helping wake people up, that is very detrimental to what we are doing now. So we bring him right on in like brother, and that's why we're all here. We're honored to have JT Wild. We're honored to have him come down to the Patriot Fest. He's huge in this movement for our cause now that us here on this panel have even gotten together for, which is to help wake people up. We want to get the truth out, and he's doing that as well. So there's other ways to serve, folks, and that is being a good, just knowing your Constitution and standing up for those rights and helping educate others. That is service.
It's important. It's important to do that.
Yeah. And if you have, like Ben said, to have the knowledge to do something good and to sit on it and to keep it all and hoard on it for yourself, that's sometimes self-gratifying, but why not share that if you have a skill that can do good?
Is that not the parable of the talents?
Yeah.
That's right.
That's very true. That's very true.
but
But when you look at
what's
what's happening, you see veterans, non-veterans, and even individuals who are legally here from foreign countries going to school or used to go to school or whatever. And what we have this idea that, a few years ago when none of this was going crazy, veterans or patriots, people who like American and flags, and you really enjoy your freedoms. And then now when people start realizing, I think this idea of being free, however you are, by birth, by service, by choice, by declaration or proclamation, if you're a free individual on this God's created earth in this country, then there's a certain standard, no matter what you believe, that we actually stand on. And that could be veteran, non-veteran, musician, artist, whoever you are. And that is that we have these inalienable rights that we recognize that were given to us by God. And the piece of paper just merely basically outlines what God gave us. But can you really put what God gave us into words? We tried our best. It's called, the Declaration of Independence. And we tried this thing called the Constitution. And Greg was very, very 100% correct when he said that we need to keep this experiment going on, because as much as I'm a king, so is JT. JT's a king of his kingdom, and Mike's a king of his kingdom, and Woodman and Greg, and we have our own kingdoms, and this is like, we're all kings. That's what freedom is about, and that's what we all stand.
And that's
for.
what America was supposed to be.
It's ubiquitous,
That's right.
people.
Yes,
and we have a duty.
Exactly.
Go
And
ahead, JT.
what the thing is that it's that govern the self, and it's like we are self-governed individuals. We know the difference between right and wrong, and so that's enough. and when we, you know, really need, when it's so hard to stress, why on earth would our forefathers have gone through what they went through and to have freedom? You know, why would they even come to America in the first place? To escape tyranny. Q says clearly infiltrate over what is it? Infiltrate
Invasion.
Over invasion. And
Yep.
that is, he's telling us that is what they started doing as soon as our Constitution was written. They started to infiltrate us, and they've been infiltrating us and pulling, and the more the wool is pulled over the sheep's eyes, the more they could infiltrate. And it got to a point where a man who was a Democrat his whole life, who loves the idea of America first and the idea of America taking care of its own citizens, which, you know, was officially not a conservative thought, right? It used to be not, you know, you take care of yourself. No, that's not the new conservative way. It's we need to take care of each other. And that man, General Flynn, who saw that getting so out of hand and so out of touch, and bodies were being buried everywhere, bodies of information that were being hidden away everywhere in so many different places, and he knew where they were, and they had to try to take him down, and they're still trying to take him down.
Oh yeah.
But they're not going to silence truth anymore. That is, there's one breakthrough we've had. They can't silence us. We are seriously the news now. We make a huge impact on what, in other words, people are looking to alternative media more than they are the other media. And if they're not looking at it and taking it legit, they're at least putting it into their thought process. Okay, they're taking all of this, and they're at least taking this other and going, well, and so what is there to happen? We're not ever going over to their side, to this uninformed side, are we? Our pile only gets bigger because one by one they keep coming over, man. And that's the great awakening of out of the matrix, out of this thought process, a consciousness of fear. You know, it's cool. Let's make it cool to wear a mask so everybody feels comfortable hiding their faces. And
maybe a crocheted one.
And you know, it's weak. You can literally, and I'm going to tell you something. It's going to be in the next 3 months. You will be able to see who will never vote for Trump because they're going to be wearing a mask everywhere they go.
That's right.
And you're going to go to the voting polls, and you're going to see who's going to win by the masks. It'll be so easy to just pick it out, and it'll be like it'll be 64. I've had this prediction, and this was way before this all happened because we were on a real roll that they had to stop. But I think 70 million for Trump, and I think he's going to break all the records of every. I just feel it. He had 63 last time. He's not gonna. What is he gonna lose? 1 million of those, and he gained 10 million. So, and the Q movement. All this whole movement has inspired everybody to make sure they vote. I mean, everyone in this movement is like, I'm voting. When has that happened? When has that kind of consciousness happened? You know, I'm on a rant.
Oh, you're fine.
The last time that happened, the last time that happened was when Abraham Lincoln took it to the people, and that's exactly what President Trump did. He took it to the people.
Oh yeah,
that's right.
Wow.
All right, we're gonna do our. It's that time. You guys, let me get your voices back
Is
on.
Q.
Where do you lay your head?
Where are you checking in from? Let us know.
Where are you doing your thing from? Let's see, we got Kentucky Patriot, Semper Fi. That's right. We're going for it. Where are you from? What's going on?
I think we're probably 20 seconds behind.
Tyler, Texas, Florida,
Oh, good.
Tampa, Florida, Canada.
Hey, I'm in Tampa, Florida.
Wisconsin. Right on.
Rancine.
Southwest
Florida?
Missouri.
South Kakalaki.
Alaska. Ohio.
Ohio.
Alabama.
United
Amy.
Kingdom. Thank you for
Amy's in
being
the
here.
room. What's up, boys? Amy. Some mods will
Daytona.
go down.
Illinois. South
South
Wales.
Wales,
Chicago
UK. Thank you.
Burbs. Rhode Island.
Staffordshire,
Rhode
UK.
Island.
Thank you.
South
Carolina.
Kakalaki, Oregon.
Fort
Orange
Worth.
Pass, Oregon.
Fort Worth, Texas. Texas.
Springs
North
area,
Florida.
Colorado.
Tommy, New Jersey. New York.
You know that
The Moxie
JT
State of
Melody in? Oh,
Minnesota.
right, cool.
Middle Tennessee,
Dollywood.
Cedar Rapids.
I've been there.
Oregon.
Indiana, Oklahoma.
We make a song. Baltimore,
Carolina,
Oklahoma,
Wyoming.
Patriot land. Wyoming,
Bob
and South New
Bull,
Jersey,
Salem,
Salem, Oregon.
Got a little bit
Arlington, Texas.
Alaska,
Panama
Marcus
City, Florida.
Scotland. Thank you for being here.
Glasgow,
Edinburgh,
Marcus,
Scotland.
Edinburgh. We got a few of you
Scotland.
Scots coming across.
Ontario, Oregon, Tennessee. I'm just singing along here.
That's funny.
Eustis, Texas, land of the free. Arizona. Hit that thumb button on your way out.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Trump Town. Where's that at?
Thumbs up,
Oh,
thumbs
that's
up.
everywhere,
Trump
USA.
Town, that's worldwide.
Michigan. Indiana. Oh,
Planet-
Georgia. Love your peaches out there. Some of the
Planet Earth,
best.
Trump Town.
I got
New
family in
Albany.
Greenville, Michigan.
State of confusion.
Nice, nice.
Pahokee, Florida.
Go, baby, Pokey.
Oh, Tucson, Arizona.
Florida.
Savannah, Georgia. Oh, yeah. A little bit
I was
of New York.
standing on a corner in Tucson, Arizona.
Arizona. Such a time.
with a voting
My
on my
Lord,
mind.
it's,
Florida.
With
Georgia,
low-
Florida, sitting down on the road, look at me.
Idaho
Hank
potato.
Pelosi from Hangtown, California. That's funny.
They never heard
Pelosi
that
from
one.
Hangtown, USA.
Hangtown,
Las
yeah.
Vegas.
Vegas.
Las
uh,
Vegas, Nevada, Nancy Green.
Vermont, it's stuck and it needs to be plunged. Got a big old.
nice.
Never mind.
Vermont.
Sovereign nation
Vermont.
of Idaho. You mean like sovereign state of Idaho or Idaho State, not state of.
James Tahoe, you are welcome, brother.
Cape Canaveral.
Yeah, thanks, James. Cape Canaveral, Florida,
Cape
where
Canaveral,
they used
Space
to launch
Coast.
rockets.
A little bit of Chinook up there, a little Patriot to the north, Ohio.
Tularosa.
Mexico.
Tularosa. Tularosa.
Bong Island, New York.
Philadelphia.
They're from Bong Island.
Pass.
We hit you.
Botox Blue, Idaho.
Botox Butte. All
That's,
right.
that's freaking hilarious.
Jacksonville,
His
Florida,
name's
home
his
of
name's
Leonard
Johnny
Skinner.
Blazin from Bong Island. He lives at 420 East High Street.
He is not at all trying to be
I know that.
covert because he's too overt.
Johnny Blazin, Bong Island, 420 East High Street. You coming?
You don't have to see the mailbox, you can smell it.
Yeah. Wow.
That's too
Oh
much.
my gosh.
That was a good one.
We've got Patriots coming from all over. I mean, that's so wonderful, you guys, with the call-ins today, with this huge panel. This is what I want the new normal of news when people click on the day, what's happening today. We didn't talk about negativity. We didn't highlight people dying in car accidents and what's the average alcohol intake in the last 48 hours and the death due from. I mean, come on now, people. If you want to come here and understand what we're trying to accomplish, read the founding documents, see where that foundation was laid, move on from there. Constitution, Bill of Rights, understand that, and you and your neighbor will be much, much tighter, and you'll have the same feel that we all have here on the panel, that we're talking like we've known each other for the last 40 years.
Yeah.
That's camaraderie from the military, brother.
Yep.
Well,
Yep.
Well, even
That's
with
training.
JT as well, it's like, you know, it's the Constitution. This theme is so old. It's as old as our first original writings, they tell us, and where the common man wanted to break free from his master and
You wanna
become
see-
his
Yeah.
own master in his destiny. You know,
yeah.
it's like, you know, it's This is a journey that a lot of us have to go through, and I think more and more it's becoming easier for a lot of people to start recognizing the environment that they're in. Like it's not so much the people, is they're in a sick environment, and they're now beginning to see that what they thought was a hot tub was a cesspool.
Yeah, you know, and
Yeah, and
they use how long ago the Constitution was written against us, as if
Yeah.
you know, well, why would you know it needs to be updated, that kind of mentality. Well, read it first and see if it needs to be
Yeah.
updated. You
it
know, I
doesn't need
mean,
to be
obviously
updated.
you haven't studied it. You're just going by what the
Yeah,
politician said. The only people
that's right.
repeating that are people that have not fully studied it, because they would go, "Oh yeah, well that makes sense," and "Oh yeah, well that makes sense," and you know, there's certain things, you know, inalienable rights that you know, and it is kind of back to, you know, if you're not a Democrat before you're 30 and a Republican after you're 30, you know,
Yeah,
that whole thing. Like, it does speak to that, because the older you get, the more you realize how you need your rights and how how important your rights are
Yeah.
it's
when you're
amazing,
when you're
JT, the way you said that. When you take you know, reading the Constitution, seeing if it needs to be changed. Well, if that's the case, then go to Francis Scott Key's third and fourth verses of the national anthem and understand why we patriots are doing what we do, why we are standing up against the tyranny, fighting because it's our duty, and it is stated everywhere, everywhere.
Yeah.
Keep this. Ben Franklin outside of Philly Hall, right? He said, we have given you a republic. The only fear we have is whether you can keep it or not."
Well, quick
Great
on that
part
note,
is
that you just said, well, does it need to be changed? Or, you know, I'm sure JT, Greg, Ben, Woodman, all of us have heard the well, when they wrote the
Stanzas.
Constitution, they didn't know about the AR-15. It wasn't around back then, or just something stupid. And we can move that to be like, well, did they know about like YouTube and what we're using here today? Like back then, the only thought of voice was from town square, as loud as one can yell from 10 steps in or up the
word
flight
of
of
mouth.
steps. And then town hall, maybe a little megaphone came out, and that was new technology. Oh, we never thought of that. That's getting your voice a little too further out there. We didn't want that. How about on this social media? We talk, and we're reaching people in China. So this was definitely not thought of, and that would be equivalent to like, well, your voice is getting too far out there. Back then, we just met in your town and a couple of your idiot people that want to listen to you, but now you're really getting your voice out there, and we just don't like that. Well, that's where the censorship comes in anyway. But so,
well, you know, they
You
could
don't
own
have to like
cannons
it.
back then. You could own a cannon back then, right? So, like,
Yep.
is what's worse, an AR-15 or a cannon in your backyard? You know, it's like,
you can own a tank today as well.
You can
Yeah.
own an Apache. You can afford it.
Well, like Ben's got in the
I know how to
background, the
maintain
flag,
those bad boys.
the flag Ben has in the
Yeah.
background, you know, come and take it. That's a cannon right there. When was that?
And there's-
It's not
1835,
illegal
was
to
it, or
own.
something?
there's clear
Well,
laws
that's
if
the
you use it against people.
Gonzalez.
that was actually the Alamo, when they only had one cannon left, and the Spanish were coming to take over the Alamo, and they
Come and
propped
take it.
up that one cannon. And of course, history is a bit foggy, but it
the
goes
agreed
on
upon
the
lie.
fact
Let's
that
talk about that.
the agreed upon lie.
Yeah.
No, we stood the Alamo, but that idea actually came from the Greeks and the Spartans. The whole idea of 300. Hollywood has glamorized that idea, but that's real in history or not. It brings to bear that the idea of standing your ground and not allowing somebody to take authority. And basically what you're doing is you're taking the authority from that other person, being or entity or governor or sheriff or police officer, and you're saying, I now have the authority to control that. And so if you're going to come get it, come and get it, and come and try to take it.
Like the
And
flag
don't
behind,
send
like the
somebody else,
flag
become
behind Ben.
yourself.
Move your head
Yeah.
for a half a second there, Ben. See, boom, come and take it. Boom, he's got the flag there.
It's Gonzalez flag.
Yeah, that's right. All right, we got to go. I got a phone call to take, but we're after our mark. We're over an hour. We've done a great show. I would like to add to everything you just said there. this is one of the reasons we're here. We can go back. We talk about the Titanic, and was it really swept out with the Olympic? And were things, I mean, there's orchestration through every point of our history. We talk about the Gulf of Tonkin in Vietnam, all the way back to the sinking of the Lusitania for World War One. Is that new thing going to go down and pull the records out of the Titanic that they were talking about last week? And are we going to get that final distress call record saying we hit an iceberg, or that we were fired upon, we took a torpedo? We'll see. The funny thing is like we said, history is written by the winners, and his story. It's his story. History is written by the winners. Right. Typically, the loser's not around. Sometimes that story is the agreed upon lie from a group of elite people in that history, in that point of time. The people that don't go along with that, like today, 9/11, us, or right now, I like to say, we're in the middle of this plandemic, hoax, maybe, but we can't agree upon it. Not us, not our panel, but we all have different theories. There's mainstream out there pitching something different. We're living through something. What's going to get written? What's going to get put in that book for in 50 years from now? People looking back like, wow, look at this Trump administration time frame. They had this happen. He was working with the Russians. There's a lot of things they were trying to get shoved into that history book. But what's going to be put in there? We're yet to know. We can't even figure it out, and we're living. That's what blows my mind. We're all.
What side of history are you going to be on?
You know it.
What side do you want to be on?
All right, we'll shut this one down. Thank you, brothers, for being here. We'll do it again. I think we took a little too long to have JT back. He's been all over YouTube. He was over on the American Joe, and he's just having a good old time out there. So we'll schedule, brother. I'll get my secretary to email your secretary, which will be me emailing you, I believe. But
well, I've got the album coming out July 4th. It's getting mastered this week, and I'm under huge pressure to get it out by July 4th. But I think I can do it. And when that pops, man, I definitely want to come back, and leading up to it, I'll come back anytime you want, man. I love it.
Oh yeah, we'd love to have you on.
Can't wait to get a copy.
And like
now,
you
look,
said,
anybody stuck at home during quarantine should not have any excuses of not getting, having time to
good
get
music, good JT Wild.
I've been busy.
Content coming to the Patriot Hour. You've always got, if you got time to lean and listen to music, you got time to clean and take care of business.
Oh, we look forward to having you on, and like I said, I'm willing to do maybe out of all the album, and we can get a song picked out, and I'd love to work on a little something with you, editing wise.
That'd be awesome.
Music video.
I really like the world, the Where We Go. Yes, okay, like your Where We Go 1, We Go All. That was a great put together. I don't know who you worked with, or if that you and whoever else. That was a great one. I really enjoyed that one. Of course,
that one. I've got two versions of that one on the record too. I've got like the radio rock version, and then
even the video though. The one video is what I guess I was more talking about on that one, like the ocean, and then there's clips of you, and then some of the movement. Is a great video. So
you ought to record your
as well.
set. Ought to record your set at the Patriot Hour and put that out on our second album, JT.
That would be awesome.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Maybe a little bonus track. It'd be like track 28,
track 17, track 17, maybe.
Track 17.
The hidden track, the bonus track. All right, you guys, let's get out of here. We'll do it again. We'll schedule you fellas. I'll see you tomorrow morning on our Tuesday live morning show, I believe, if everything is good. Other than that, talk to you guys.
God bless.
God bless the Patriots. Yes, sir.
Good morning, everybody.
Lots of love. God bless you guys. Definitely.
Much love and respect.
Have a wonderful Memorial Day.
Thank you, JT.
Full armor of God. Full armor of God. Always, always,
Amen.
always.
Yes.
Airborne. We love the panel when they're on. What a great Monday morning. Again, you guys enjoy your day with family, friends. Don't forget to subscribe if you are maybe not. Ring that bell. Make sure you get alerted when we go live, put out a video like this. What a great panel. Great people, very passionate in what they do. What a great Monday morning for myself. Rest of my day is easy from here on out. I am a little wiser moving forward. And so should you. Do your research, check out everything. Never take what we say to be 100% fact, word, truth. The days of auto truth have got to be over. You have got to look into things, do the research, come to that logical answer based off your research. Only you can do that. Only you know what works best for you. Don't groupthink. If anything, if you got a bunch of passionate patriots around you, you're awesome. You're sitting in a good spot. But do your own individual research. Come back and bump heads off of what you found. If things line up, you're probably onto a good path. All right, we're giving you the tools necessary is all we're trying to do. Again, I'm Michael. This is the Patriot Hour. God bless and Godspeed. Where we go one, we go all.